So I wanted to respond a little more about the little things, and I wanted to. I got a response from the anonymous person that sent me the question in the first place, and basically this person said, "I understand everything that you're saying. I don't believe in a God. I don't believe in a heaven or hell. I just think that you die." Which respects people that believe otherwise. But this person's final question was, not is it worth it, but wouldn't it be easier to not deal with it anymore? Um, I feel like that's to assume that you live in a vacuum. And so let me say this first, and then I'm going to say something else that I think is just important. So keep listening. Um, it's to assume you live in a vacuum, and we don't. Like I said in the earlier post, we're in an ecosystem. We are, and I do believe that all organic matter, and this sounds all hippy dippy, scientific, whatever, but I feel like all organic things on Earth have a purpose. They are part of an ecosystem. And that includes, to me, that includes human beings. And we can get religious, we can get scientific, however, however you want to play it. But people don't exist in a vacuum. We have an effect on other people's lives, on our parents' lives. Our parents have an effect on us. We have an effect on our friends. And there's countless people out in this world that you are going to affect. It could be the person next to you in the car that you smile at one day. It could be somebody that you loaned $1 to at the store, a complete stranger. It could be your roommate in college, the man that you marry, the children you have. But I mean, we affect each other. If you go back to sort of rudimentary idea of Schrodinger's cat in the world of quantum physics, we affect each other. And I think that's part of the purpose. And you might be in a place where you feel like you're in a vacuum. You might be in a place where you feel you're alone. But the reality and the truth is you're affecting people every day in some way or another. And your absence would create waves and ripples in other people's lives that I can tell you right now are going to feel insurmountable and could very well be insurmountable. Things that they're never going to get past. I can't tell you that I'm ever going to get past the loss of my husband. I'll learn how to live with it, but I can't tell you that I will ever get over it. I can't right now. I can't ever imagine getting over it. I can imagine learning to live with it. But your absence would be terrible. Just terrible. And you have to look at it in those terms, and that brings me to my second point. These questions are normal, and I think these are interesting conversations to have, and these are the kind of conversations that I like to have. But there's a strong possibility, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, that you're dealing with some form of depression. Because the question you're asking me is it worth it? And my answer is yes. And the reason my answer, I've been depressed. I know what it feels like to be depressed, and those are the things that come up in my mind. So I encourage anybody that feels that way, especially this person that wrote in, to research that, ask the questions, go online. There's tests for if you have depression or not, and start talking to somebody. Start reading, start journaling, start processing some of this stuff in your head, because life is worth it. It is. And it's worth it because we have each other. And it's really, for me, it's worth it because there are things that I'm very passionate about. I'm passionate about working with young adults. I'm passionate about my kids, about my family, about friends, and I'm very passionate about having fun. It is worth it, but you've got to find that passion. You got to find that thing that you love to do. Maybe it's talking, maybe it's sleeping, maybe it's, I don't know what it is. But that's the journey of your teenage years and young adult, is what is it that I love to do? And it's fun to figure that out. And we may have parents in our ears. You got to get great grades, and you have to go to the perfect school, but you're going to get married, you're going to have kids. It doesn't have to be that way. This is your ride. It's your ride. And you got to figure it out, especially if you're in high school. You have to start figuring it out for yourself. And that may mean conflict with your parents. And there's a way to deal with that. There's a way. Conflict doesn't have to mean that you hate each other, but you got to be able to express your differences in order to make yourself happy, because pleasing other people is going to do nothing but make you miserable. So, I hope that helps some. No, it wouldn't be easier. And if for nothing else right now, you need to tell yourself it wouldn't be easier to not be here because of the people around you. And if that holds you in place right now and that keeps you on the ground right now until you can figure something else out, then that's fine. But I encourage you to explore if there's something bigger than yourself. Explore what kind of ecosystem you fit into in your own world. Explore what your passions are. Try new things. Anything that sounds interesting. Um, and see if you don't come up with a reason for yourself. Because I mean, I can tell you all day long that it's worth it, but you have to believe that. Um, so I hope that helps. I hope that you will write me again, anonymous person. And anybody else that has any questions, thoughts, ideas, please share them. And you can also share them at the Facebook Susie Freaking Cute Facebook page, where it can be more of a conversation if you want. And I got another interesting email today from someone about dating and parents and marriage, and I'll answer that either a little later today or maybe while the kids are napping this weekend. So have a great weekend. I hope that helped, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.